This week on the Hooters Tour with Lee Moore and Kim Breel. Coming up in the next half hour, a young man from San Diego, California picks up his first Hooters Tour victory. Watch all 4 rounds as we crown our 14th champion of the season. We'll also take a visit to the Columbia Zoo and meet Hooters Tour professional Dickie Thompson. We'll also have a rules tip and a player's tip. All coming up next.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Columbia, South Carolina and our 14th event of the year on the Hooters Pro Golf Tour. I'm Lee Moore.
And I'm Kim Breel.
Kim, this marks our 2nd straight visit to Columbia, but it's a different golf course. This year we're playing at the Cricken Tree Golf Club. Actually, it's located in the community of Blythewood.
And this golf course measures over 7,000 yards and is probably one of the best layouts we'll play all year long. Unfortunately, stormy conditions again interrupt play this week and make the overall conditions less than desirable.
It did.
Thursday's action, and Jimmy Green of Mobile, Alabama is going to make his par at the par 4 11th hole, and the former Auburn All-American is going to post a 3-under par 69 on the first day, and after the 18 holes, Jimmy's going to be 3 shots in back of the leader. Another guy in Green's threesome on Thursday is Ron Winchie of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And Ron also is going to par number 11, and he'll be at 3 under par at day's end. Brian Wagner is the final member of this group, and this putt is for bogey, and his first day scores leave him at 73, and that's 1 stroke better than par. The best stroke on the par 4 12th hole, though, is the birdie putt of Winchie. This shot's going to put him at 2 under par for the day at this point, but remember, Ron's going to finish at 3 under. Paul Claxton of Vidalia, Georgia also struggles a bit on the wet Thursday. The former Georgia All-American who won the first event of the year at Douglas, Georgia, is going to make his par at 12, but he positions himself in a group of 12 at a shot over par the first day. Friday's second round is going to fall victim to the soggy conditions, and heavy rains will cause play to be suspended around 4:30. Jeff Thorson of Jacksonville, Florida, has his game in high gear the last few events. His birdie at the 8th hole will help to ensure he'll make the cut. Now, Jeff posted scores of 69, 76, but again, the high cut is evidence of some rugged conditions on a golf course that has taken a hammering from the weather. Sean Haberstroh is going to make the cut, which will take in exactly 60 players who will be at +3. Here, Sean's going to pick up a par at the number 12 hole. Now, this is going to give him a 73 on Friday. Brian Gorman will hold the lead at the halfway point at 7 under par, and the big guy from San Diego continues to be one of the most solid players on the Hooters Tour.
So after 36 holes of play, the leader is Brian Gorman of San Diego at 7 under par. Stephen Larrick with rounds of 67-73 is alone in second place at 4 under par. There are 3 at 3 under, including Jimmy Green of Mobile, Alabama, Ron Winchie of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and Joe McCormick of Hutchinson, Minnesota. A half dozen players share 6th place. Those are Paul Claxton of Vidalia, Georgia, Ryan Howison of Boynton Beach, Florida, Carl Zoller from Somerville, South Carolina, Ricky Smallridge of Opelika, Alabama, Scott Gardner of Clinton, Tennessee, and Michael Foster of Vacaville, California. A couple of players, Dickie Thompson of Peachtree City, Georgia, and Taylor Tipton of Houston, Texas, share 12th place at 1 under par. When we come back, we're going to check out Monday at Crickentree, where we had 10 players added to the field through the Monday qualifier, and Steve Thomas's team took top honors at the Hooters Classic Pro-Am. And you're going to meet a former PGA Tour player who is the leading money winner so far this year. That's on our Hooters Tour. Now, when we also come back, we'll take a little trip to one of the top attractions in this city. It's the Columbia Zoo.
We'll be right back with more golf from the Hooters Tour.
Who's getting happy? Who's having fun? Who's been to Hooters? Come on, everyone, it's at Hooters. Hooters. Hooters makes you happy.
Hooters makes you happy.
Hooters makes you happy.
Hooters makes you happy.
Good times, great food, fun music, what a hoot. Hooters. Hooters. Everybody's getting happy at Hooters.
Now swing your partner round and round on the best dang caller in this town. You know, there are only a few Bud Lights left. Okay! Head out the door, you gals and men. Don't stop till you hear from me again. Get on out of here. See ya. Say hello to your mama. Bye-bye.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
How we gonna get paid?
On Monday, 10 players were added to the field. They included Mark Anderson, Mark Lalonde, Larry Kleininger, Trey Shepard, Mike Bennett, Martin Roach, Robert Andrews, Patrick Garrity, and Chris Polk.
Lee, the team of Steve Thomas fired a 59, 13 under par to take first place in the Hooters Pro-Am Classic. That team was captained by amateur Marty Martin.
The other amateur partners were Herman Hall, Denny Green, and Michael Wieland.
Kim, obviously a player who has received lots of attention on our tour this year is former PGA and Nike Tour player Dickie Thompson. Now, along with battling to regain his place on the PGA Tour, Dickie has had to overcome personal tragedy in his life. It's just about a year ago he lost his wife in a tragic accident. So for Dickie, the events of his past has put golf in a bit of a different perspective.
He was born in 1957. A June baby, whose love for sports brought him to where he is today. Today, he is the Hooters Pro Golf Tour's leading money winner, pushing the $50,000 mark. He is Dickie Thompson of Peachtree City, Georgia.
Well, there's not really a whole lot else right now, but golf's not the most important thing. I've kind of learned the hard way that, you don't put golf number one. Golf's not the first thing. It's, there's family, there's, and everything else. But, a lot of things come before golf. Golf's just a way to make a living. You can always do something else.
Learning the hard way about golf and its place in his life came after losing his wife of 4 months in a tragic house fire. Since then, Dickie has had to overcome the emotional loss as well. He's rebuilding his personal life, as well as trying to climb back up professionally. Dickie turned pro in 1980. In 1990, he won the Hogan Tour Baton Rouge Open Championship. In 91, he was a member of the Nike Tour, and in 1992, he played the PGA Tour, an adjustment unlike the other tours.
Well, a little, because you know, you've seen them all on TV growing up, and now I'm playing in tournaments with them. But so it's different at first, but once you just got to get used to it and get used to seeing them, you know, on the range and the lockers and on the course, and you know, it's just an adjustment. It's what most of the tour life is. It's an adjustment from everything else, and you just got to get used to it.
So far, Thompson has won twice this year, first in Columbus, Georgia, and 7 weeks later in El Paso, Illinois. He's been in the top 10 6 times and has only missed one cut in 14 tries.
Dickie Thompson, obviously a player I feel will get back to the PGA Tour. Incidentally, Dickie is going to face a tough choice later in September because when he won the event in Columbus, Georgia, which was the Top Flight Classic, an automatic exemption to the PGA Buick Southern Open was included with his title and first place check.
And now, Kim, because of his position in the points race for the $100,000 naturally fresh bonus at season's end, he may have to forfeit that valued opportunity.
And speaking of valued opportunities, if you visit the city of Columbia, you'll for sure want to check out one of their valued attractions, and that's the Columbia Zoo. Our Zeb Garrison went there with his Hooters Tour camera and has checked it out for us.
Many believe that the Columbia Zoo is one of the largest attractions in the state of South Carolina.
Riverbanks is one of America's top 10 zoos. At least that's what many surveys and Good Housekeeping magazine just named us one of the 10 great zoos in the United States. We think you'd like to come because Riverbanks offers the best of several worlds. Endangered animals, beautifully landscaped grounds, some botanical plants and labeled exhibits that I think everyone in the family enjoys.
The zoo is celebrating its 20th anniversary. It averages 900,000 visitors a year, with April and May the 2 biggest months.
The most popular exhibit at Riverbanks is our aquarium reptile complex, which opened in November of 1989. When you go in that facility, you're going to see amphibians, reptiles, and fish from all around the world. You start in South Carolina and travel through the deserts and the tropics and into the depths of the ocean.
About 30 acres have been developed into animal exhibits, with an additional 70 acres to be added in June of '95, including botanical gardens, nature trails, cotton factory, and more.
When we return, we'll have the final 2 rounds of play as we battle our way through some tough weather conditions at the Crick and Tree Country Club.
Hi, I'm Terry from Hooters of Columbia. We'll be right back with This Week on the Hooters Tour.
So I said to Henny, of course chickens are more important to Hooters than owls.
Who?
Chickens, that's who.
I beg to differ.
Well, beg all you want. Without chickens, there'd be no chicken sandwiches or chicken salad, or Hooters famous chicken wings. There'd be no Hooters if it weren't for chicken.
It's really not wise to even argue the point.
That's because I'm right.
No, that's because you're not going to be around long anyway. Chicken.
Naturally fresh, simply delicious.
Just wait and see. You'll taste the quality.
The quality, preservative free. We always have been, always will be. Naturally, it's simply delicious. Naturally fresh, it's a lifestyle.
Are you still drinking the old thing? Try the next thing, Powerade. With 33% more carbos than Gatorade and a taste you can really slam. Powerade, the next thing.
Tournament director Cliff Calvert and Hooters Tour official Doug Findlay were confronted with some very hard decisions on Friday as play eventually was suspended around 6:30. What we did then was complete the second round on Saturday morning. Then we did what they call a horseshoe as we had players going off double tees again in threesomes, and by the end of the day on Saturday everything was right back on schedule. Here's Kim with the third round.
Cool temperatures and overcast skies. Crick and Tree, round 3. And the man to watch was our second round leader, Brian Gorman of San Diego, California. A 3-stroke lead over Stephen Larrick seemed to be comfortable, at least for the time being. Gorman would birdie number 4, but finds trouble at the par 4 fifth hole, taking a triple bogey and falling to 5 under par. Gorman birdies 11 and comes back to birdie the par 4 12th hole. A birdie at 17 gets him back to 7 under, where he started the day, and then at 18, he would birdie again to finish at -8. Others in the hunt included Carl Zoller of Summerville, South Carolina. A birdie at number 1 gets him to 3 under, and this birdie at 17 gets Zoller to 5 under par for the tournament and 3 back of our leaders. Stephen Larrick of Blythewood, South Carolina was literally right at home this week. Entering today's third round at -4, Larrick would birdie number 1 and birdie number 4 to move to 6 under par. A birdie at the par 3 7th hole gets Stephen to 7 under par, and he'll find one more as he'll post a 4 under par 68 and will enter Sunday tied for the lead. Only 20 players will enter the final round under par, and only 6 players shot in the 60s.
I've been hitting it real solid right now. I'm real comfortable with my golf swing, and I've got a lot of confidence right now. I've played real well the last 4 or 5 weeks, and hopefully I can continue that tomorrow. It's going to be fun being in that position. This is the first time this year I've been in this position, and it's going to be fun tomorrow.
So after 54 holes of play, Brian Gorman shares the lead with Stephen Larrick. They are both at 208 or 8 under par. 3 strokes back are Chris Smith of Rochester, Indiana, and Carl Zoller of Summerville, South Carolina. There are 5 players at 3 under par. They include Mark Lalonde of Lexington, Kentucky, Jeff Thorson of Jacksonville, Florida, Bo Fennell of Statesboro, Georgia, Ryan Howison of Boynton Beach, Florida, and Jimmy Green of Mobile, Alabama. Several players are 6 shots out at 214 or -2. Eric Johnson is one of those. He shot a 70 today. The others are Marion Dantzler, Tripp Eisenhower, Steve Pope, Scott Gardner, Dickie Thompson, Ron Winchie, and Joe McCormick.
So while Larrick and Gorman held the lead going into Sunday, there would be a lot of excitement before the final round was completed.
There was no question that Crickentry was getting the best of our Hooters Tour professionals. Of course, the golf course was wet and temperatures were a bit cooler. Entering into Sunday's final round, realistically, only 9 players were in contention to win. 5 players gave it a good run. One of those was Charlie Whittington of Columbus, Georgia. A 7 under par 65 has Charlie jumping 17 positions to finish tied for second at 280 or 8 under for the championship. Jimmy Green also had a good last round. His 67 was his best showing this week. He also finishes tied for second. 2 others finishing tied for second at 8 under include Chris Smith, whose 3 under 69 put him at 280, and Stephen Larrick, who started the day tied for the lead with Brian Gorman. Larrick birdies number 2 with this shot. He would birdie again at number 4, again at number 5, and now a 2-stroke lead over Brian Gorman. After a par at 6, Larrick birdies the par 3 number 7 and moves to 12 under for the tournament. A bogey on 9 with pars on 10 and 11, another bogey at 12 has Stephen at -10. He'll birdie the par 3 13th hole, and with 4 holes left to play, was battling for the title. Trouble at 15, though, cost him the $15,000 first place check, as he'll take a triple bogey to finish in a 4-way tie for second. The man who held tight, though, was Brian Gorman. A birdie at number 1 started the day right. He would birdie again at the par 5 6th hole, moving to 10 under par, and at the time, 1 back of Stephen Larrick. Gorman would birdie the 14th hole, which moved him into a tie with Larrick, and his birdie at the par 4 15th hole gave him a 4-stroke swing on his closest contender. Gorman would par 16 and 17, and this birdie at 18 sealed the victory and the $15,000 first place check.
There were so many holes where I felt like if that putt goes in or I get that kick, I'm really going to be in command, and it seemed like it never happened. And Stephen kept playing well last 2 rounds. So it was just, I didn't want to think ahead, and I definitely didn't want to look back. And it was hard because we were neck and neck, and he kept pouring in the putts. But then he had a bad hole, and I jumped on it.
The final results at Crick & Tree in Columbia, South Carolina has Brian Gorman the leader by 4 strokes. Charlie Whittington, Jimmy Green, Chris Smith, and Stephen Larrick all posted 8 under par scores and share second place. Tied for 6th were Steve Pope and Carl Zoller with a score of 283 or -5. Some other good showings this week: Ron Winchie, Scott Gardner, and Marion Dantzler, all 3 finishing at -4.
When we come back, we'll play a little game called Do You Know This Rule? And we'll get one of our Hooters Tour pros to help you with your golf game. We'll also, after 14 tournaments, update you on the money leaders, and we'll show you how that battle continues to shape up for the naturally fresh $100,000 bonus check to be presented at season's end.
Earlier in the week, Lee, we talked to Patrick Alexander, the owner of Crick & Tree Country Club, about what it means to host a Hooters event.
For us, what's in it for us, we get a lot of exposure. And we know that we're helping out the young fellas that are out there that trying to make a buck and get onto the PGA Tour.
Now, one of our weekly features that we hope really is helping you involves tips and information about the rules. Our 2 guys, Doug Findlay and Jeff Harlow, are more than happy to do it for you. Let's see what the guys have for us this week.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Doug Findlay, Rules Director for the Hooters Professional Golf Tour. On today's rules tip, we are going to turn to the back of our USGA Rules of Golf book to what's known as the administration section and look at Rule 33-8, which gives committees in charge of any golf tournament the authority and the responsibility to establish local rules for abnormal conditions, providing, of course, that those local rules do not waive a penalty established by a rule of golf. Golfers, at the club or course where you play, there may be a local rule indicating that a ball drop area or dropping zone may be used for such situations as water hazards or obstructions where relief is impractical for play, or perhaps complicated areas of ground under repair, such as large areas of new sod, or perhaps some unplayable lie areas, or even grandstand or bleacher areas installed for major tournaments. Here at the Crick & Tree Golf Club outside of Columbia, South Carolina, we have marked a ball drop area with an enclosed white circle and painted it ball drop. Now let's consider some questions that apply to the local rule permitting ball drops. Question number 1. Is the white line considered to be within the ball drop? The answer is yes. Question number 2. Does the player have to stand within the ball drop when dropping the ball? The answer is no. Question 3. Does the dropped ball first have to strike the ground within the ball drop? The answer to that one is yes. And our last question concerning ball drops and the applicable local rules: does the drop ball have to come to rest within the ball drop? And the answer is, again, no.
Equally as happy to be a part of our weekly show and helping you with your golf game is our Hooters Tour professionals. Here's a weekly helpful hint. Let's roll that videotape.
Hi, I'm Craig Perks to the Hooters Tour. Today I'd like to talk to you about a device that I use to help me with alignment. A lot of people use one club. I like to use two clubs, one for the target line and then one for my feet line. Most of the time when I hit balls, I'll have the two clubs down. If you try this little tip, it could help you. We'll see you at Hooters.
Kim, money all around, but not a penny for you and me. So let's see who's earning the most so far. Now, we'll check out our top 10 money winners.
After 14 events, Dickie Thompson remains at the top of our leaderboard with a little over $48,000. Ricky Smallridge is in at second with Brian Gorman, Jimmy Green, Andrew Morris, all of those in the top 5. Rounding out our top 10, you have Paul Claxton, Mike Schwartz, Chris Smith, Vance Veazey, and Eric Johnson.
Lee, there are just 6 tournaments to go. Our season is almost finished. This race is tightening up and really still involves 7 or 8 guys who have a legitimate chance at the $100,000 bonus. Following the Hooters Classic at Columbia, here's the top 10.
In the race for the Naturally Fresh $100,000 bonus race, Andrew Morse moves into the number 1 position with a 9-point advantage over Dickie Thompson. Ricky Smallridge is also in contention with 1,638 points. The rest of the top 10 include Paul Claxton, Brian Gorman, Mike Schwartz, Bo Fennell, Greg Parker, Eric Johnson, and Ryan Howison.
So Kim, as we say goodbye to the Cricket Tree Golf Course and to the state of South Carolina, just a reminder that before season's end, we're going to be returning to this state a couple of more times. But for now, we'd like to thank Mike Holland, he's the director of golf here, and his great staff at the Cricket Tree Country Club, and certainly the maintenance crew that had to work so hard just to keep this course playable during the week.
A special thanks also, Lee, to the Hooters of Columbia for all of their help before, during, and after the tournament. And to the many volunteers who helped make our stay a pleasant one. Next week, we're going to be in Decatur, Alabama, the Decatur Daily Tour Championship, and our biggest purse of the year, $125,000, with $25,000 going to first place.
And not a penny for you or me, okay, like we said earlier. Until then, we'll see you next week on This Week on the Hooters Tour. So long, everybody.
This Week on the Hooters Tour is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants. Hooters, delightfully tacky, yet unrefined. Naturally Fresh Foods. Naturally fresh, preservative-free salad dressings, sauces, and dips. And by Bud Light. Make it a Bud Light. If you like the clothes that Kim and Lee are wearing, call the Hooters Merchandise Catalog at 1-800-961-2231 for all Hooters of America apparel.